being doesn't get themselves on a higher spiritual level will still have something to face with. Is there the conscious life on sixth dimension and these other dimensions also? Have you noticed that there's still somewhat of a control system going on in those dimensions?
Well, the control system is not universal. It's limited to our solar system and especially to this planet, because as you probably know, or at least I believe, and of course you have your own beliefs, that this planet is very special. It's supposed to be there are 22 other planets like this one in all of the galaxy. It was really like a zoo, almost like a test, a laboratory planet here. And so many things were done here. So many of the laggards were brought here, which helped to bring this planet down. But I think overall is what I like to determine what I believe at the beginning here and now too. In a sense, I like to form it like this, that matter is merely energy condensed to a very slow vibration. That we are all one consciousness, we're experiencing ourselves multidimensionally, that there is no such thing as death for a soul, and that life is just a dream, that we are the subjective imagination of ourselves. So I say, if you are allowing your dream to become a nightmare, please wake up. That simply means we're in somebody's consciousness, we are part of that consciousness, and we're now going to ascend to the higher callings in that consciousness. If you're not allowing yourself to rule yourself, to govern the body you're in, then you cannot rule or govern anything else that you're external to. It starts with self, and self is where it's going to end.
Okay. The next question that I had for you was that let's briefly touch on, because I don't really know how you explain this to somebody who's just coming into this kind of knowledge. You know, you have people that are not aware of all the different guides that are here, and I just need you to expound truthfully. What is the significance of these different guides and these different dimensions that are currently being worshipped here on planet Earth, and how would they really assist a human being? And if not, you know, that truth, you know, I want you to expound pretty much on that truth.
Well, that's another maxim. Let me just answer that. But before we get off the air, I have what I call a truth statement. I tell people, don't come to me for truth. Come to me for facts. Now, the fact is, I understand them, is that we are on a planet. A planet is a place where it's just one of many cells. Well, that's going to make it even more confusing. It's just one of billions of trillions or nillions of other little planets around in what we call. If you notice, people that are near death, they fight for life and they cry and go on. Well, if life, is something that is so wonderful, then why do we fight the wars here? Why do we have drugs here? Why do we have swine flu here? Why do we have genetically modified foods here? Why do we have killing and jealousy and hatred? Why do we have penuriousness and poorness? Why do we have starvation and babies dying? If this is such a great place, why do we have all these misnomers, these misconceptions of what beauty should be? I think that we lost something. And we lost something when they took us away and started religion in the first place, because there is no true religion. Now everybody gets angry with that one, because the only religion you should have is a consciousness that you and your Creator, wherever you came from, are one. And anytime you need to find out who you are, contact your Creator by going within. Therefore, all other philosophies and doctrines and religions are false, because they teach you to go through someone else. Some prelate, some go between something else, when you were born of the Creator or in the Creator at all times. This is where the difficulty comes, because as children, we come here blissful. We come here open-minded. Your children talk to animals, and animals hear. Children see clouds in the room, and they talk to them. Children are on the other side because they just came from the other side. Adults tell them, if you don't see it, don't hold it, can't touch it, it doesn't exist. Stop talking to your sleep, child. You don't see anything. It's because they have gotten so blinded. They're so full of poisons and toxins and vaccines and meats that they can't see. Within us all, if we have souls, and there are soulless ones down here, if we have souls, we already know the truth. It's just that we now must justify our existence for having to experience it once again on the physical plane. To get down to pragmatic, down-to-earth explanation for this, I can only say, as I started out before, energy is simply matter that is now slowed down. We all are pure energy. As we slow down more and more, we think less and less of higher dimensions and get more and more locked into the physical. So much so that we think the physical is real, and yet we have to go to sleep every night to get out of the physical in order to maintain the physical body because it is too low in vibration.
Sevan?
But I wanted to talk very briefly about Venus, if you could, Doctor, in regards to the actual reptilian being on the dimension. Who do they work for?
Physical consciousness. I don't know that everybody in the chat room reaches that conclusion, but let's just say, for the sake, because you know more of your audience than I, that there are many who are awake. Then let's just go with the consciousness that there are soulless beings in this galaxy and that have conquered many, many, many solar systems that are soulless and they're reptilian in form. The overall rule, it changes somewhat, but the overall rule, as I understand, egg-borns do not have souls. Womb-borns do. And the reptilians who have really hybrided the very bodies we're in, we have, again, at the top of the spine, we have a reptilian brain. That's a heck of a place to put it in a body to jump into, because it means that in order to get to the higher consciousness, you got to go to the reptile brain. And that reptile brain does only 4 things: fight, feed, flee, and fornicate. And I'm being nice. Fight, feed, flee, and fornicate, the 4 F's. And if you remember, too, in World War II, when you flunked, you had 4F. You were considered 4F. So I simply say this. I agree with you, and if we wish to go that far, and if Sister Wisdom wishes us to go that far, we can talk more about so many wonderful things in this constellation, so many wonderful things in this solar system, if we could just rise to a higher vibration. Most of these reptilians live on the 4th dimension. That's why they can come through walls. That's why they can abduct people. That's why